Alright, I'll give you a little update on yesterday's last tutorial about TensorFlow price prediction using using TensorFlow to predict the price in cryptocurrencies. Now I'm trying to predict, the system is trying to predict 1% target versus 1% stop. So now in the previous video we had a issue where the output dates are unformatted and pretty much randomized. They go up and down, and I thought this maybe is the issue related to unlearned data, but it turned out that the issue was related to Python. That Python, as it seemed out, that the programming language Python doesn't nest the arrays. So basically what you end up, if you try to fill an array with some kind of an information in it, then the array, when you try to read it or print it or use it afterwards, the information is pretty much shuffled randomly throughout the data. It has to do something with the array structure indexing, and therefore what I didn't see in the last video was that the data that has been taken as live calculated indicators have been shuffled randomly, which I didn't see it. So today I had an hour or so to fix this issue, and now what I see is, just before I started recording this video, a couple of minutes ago, the price was around here, and we had a prediction of 0.45% to 0.54%, indicating that the TensorFlow is predicting a price upwards, and the price went upwards, as you can see. So if I try to make it another time, it's still having a prediction, but the model yet is not learned it learned nearly on only a couple of results. But the main thing is, which I see right now, is that it gives out a more balanced and a more stable structure, indicating that the calculations are pretty much balanced and organized, and they look like they're supposed to be looking. That's what I want to tell. So now still the Python, when it was here, it was predicting a move upwards. Now when it's upwards, the parameters have changed. That indicating there's 0.9 to be higher. So it has some kind of a logic onto it, but the 0.9 in this case means that it's still predicting the price to go upwards even more than it had previously. But still, we haven't yet passed it through a larger learning sets. So what I will now do in this video, I will end this video right now, but the thing is, what I want to do is now send it through millions and millions of learning iterations and then see what will happen. And I will pause this video and let's see what happens after 10 minutes or so. As right now I'm looking, it's still pretty much telling the second number to be more positive. As you can see, if the price is going downwards, let's say the positiveness of this number starts reducing. So what I'm thinking is that actually it's opposite. This is predicting upwards, and this is predicting downwards movement, because by logic, if the price goes lower and lower, the chances for the price to go higher and higher increases. So what I'm seeing is, if the price starts falling, the chances of price increasement gets greater and greater. I need to go through the the actual model prediction telling me what either case is it telling for me, because also the the arrays and etc. on Python, they I have to make sure. But the positive thing is these numbers are becoming more and more balanced and structured. This is telling me that all these calculations, all these variable setup and passing it through the neural network is now working correctly. And I rechecked that. So basically now what I already sent is to study through a much larger set of data. Just went through the studies of much greater data sets. And now when we see the price is starting to go upwards, let's see how the prediction itself is changing. So this one also got greater. So in my conclusion, in my thought, this should predict the price movement upwards, and this should be, because in my script 0 means price is falling down, 1 means price is falling upwards, but I don't know how the TensorFlow returns this prediction mechanism, how he returns this, which is the 1 and which is the 0, but we'll figure that one out. I will need to go through documentations, but that is not so important right now, because in either cases, if we send it through live system, when we want to learn, when we want to do live trading and learn from it, when we want to do that, we will just set to buy when this is greater than this, and that's all. Afterwards we will see that if we are getting more stop losses, like loss trades than positive trades, then we will just change the opposite. We will just change to the opposite mechanism. Let's see, price is wenting upwards, and let's see the prediction changes. Still in my opinion, he's telling that there's nearly a guaranteed chance for the price to go upwards, and it did, and it still is doing this. So my overall conclusion is that this prediction by now was a successful one. So in the next video, I'll be sharing what happens with a much larger data set, learning through much larger data set, and I will be importing this into the. So we were predicting 1% climb, but we received nearly 2% climb. So what happens if you implement this into a live trading model, actual live trading model, set up the rules and see the predictions online, and I will be posting it and showing you the actual live predictions, what is actually going on in the live trading models, and see the actual results. Now, and also in the previous video I forgot to mention that many people are actually showing videos how the TensorFlow learns, how the TensorFlow studies the let's say the evaluation results of these training models, but none of them actually implement these data, or maybe some of them do that, but not many people actually implement this data into a live trading model and see the actual results. So this is mainly my intention is to actually show you and give you the actual perception. And as you can see, it still is moving upwards. So by now the prediction model was correct. Let's see what changes right now. It still is thinking that this is actually a really positive move. But at this point, it actually does not matter. We are just testing it out, and let's see the actual live results when we will be actually doing live trading. And also keep in mind the TensorFlow is trying to predict 2% moves. 2% moves. So this is a one move like this, just a one single move like this. So if we were to predict smaller moves, like let's say one of these swings, then I think we were to get different prediction scores, and I think the prediction scores, the prediction ratios would change more oftenly. Okay, so let's spend another minute or so just to see the predictions being made lively, and actually how higher is, well, in my case definitely there should be a pullback from somewhere around here. Let's see how much higher is that. So 2%, he's near. He's thinking that the price still can go upward till this area right now, rather than falling down to, let's say, this area. So let's see how his predictions are changing. Not changing. He's still stable in his predictions. So a couple minutes later, the price went up a little more, and the price started to go downwards. So still from this point, when I first started to get the prediction, till this moment it was precise, and now the price is turning opposite, and let's see how the predictions are changing. Like, actually, who knows? Imagine you know, and you have understood really many data. I mean, really, you have studied through like millions and millions of books, and you remember everything and anything what's in those books, compared to a human like we are, that only looks at one of the sentences and tries to figure out the story outcome. But if you have read those million books and always remember them, that you can actually predict the outcome of the actual small sentence to become maybe a greater like story, or the continue up of this story. So so in this case, I think the computers and neural networks, or any type of other AI, can actually rememberize and can actually tell in front the chances of this particular area, this particular sentence, through millions and millions of data, and can actually tell you in front what could be the predicted outcome of this. So if it's true, who were to guess whether it's true or not, who knows the outcome, but still it's more than certain for the price to go upwards, although it still fell down a little bit, as I see the prediction become more stable for the second variable here. So as I told, I'm not yet completely sure which one of these variables is price moving upwards or downwards, but as you can see, if the price starts going up or down and change a little bit, the prediction itself changes. So we'll check that out on the next video. We'll make sure on the next video. Let's wait for a one larger move upwards, or for a one larger move downwards. Let's just wait until it happens, and then let's recheck the predictions. So the price did actually went down to the trend line, and while it was wending down, I didn't see this variable to become smaller than 0.88. So, and now we are on the trend line. So normally we should see either a sharper move downwards or a sharper move upwards. And let's see what happens in the next couple of minutes. Meanwhile, I will figure out how this prediction model is outputting the results. Okay, so now what I'm seeing is that the price actually did break below the trend levels, and the prediction of this variable got higher and higher and higher. So overall, my own conclusion is that in the beginning here we had a prediction of 50-50. Once the price starting to go higher, the second variable got higher, higher and higher and higher. And now the second variable is still pretty much high. But we haven't got yet, we only got a 2% movement from this part upwards. There was a 2% movement, and when it reached the 2% movement, the chances or the score of the second variable got tremendously high, and it's still been high ever since the point here, and from that point it started to go downwards. So my overall conclusion is, let's make another video next episode when the AI has learned pretty much some more data, and then let's see the predictions one more time, and I will leave this screen recording until the price goes somewhere I don't know, somewhere down or somewhere upwards. So I'm back after a moment. Some time has passed. The prediction still hasn't changed. It's predicting the same as it was starting to predict from the top here to down here. But the very bad thing is that the price has not actually changed a lot. The price has maybe from the absolute top maybe 2.6%. It hasn't been a quick move upwards or a quick move downwards. It was basically a slow move. So stay tuned for the next video. See how these live predictions start working on a real environment, and if you're interested in how this project unveils, please do follow and hit the subscribe button, and see you guys soon on the next video. Let's do a last check. And finally some movement. So I made a conclusion that this is a 5-minute chart. I will zoom out. So starting from here, it was in an area of 50 to 50, like not knowing the exact movement. But once it got higher, he was certain of a movement. The AI was certain of a one decision. And as soon as the price got upwards, the prediction started increasing in this variable. So my overall conclusion is that while predicting a 50-50 chance to predicting a direct one movement was pretty okay by now. It seemed pretty okay right now. So my hunch is that everything is working correctly, and while are we speaking, I think for all today there will be the prediction model still learning. So stay tuned for next videos, and bye now.